Hi, YouTube. It's been a minute since you've seen my face, at least. It's been a minute since I posted anything at all, as well. But that's not really that important. It's just for fun. But basically, what I'm here recording about is it's kind of a life update. It's kind of an introduction to who I am, what I enjoy, what I want to do, and what I'm thinking at any given moment. And I currently intend on doing this not frequently, but like maybe weekly, maybe bi-weekly, I don't know. But right now, we're just going to get down to it, all right? So, it's 2024. I am currently 23 years old. I am a third-year student in college for electrical and computer engineering. I adore the major. I adore the work that we do. It's hard. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's easy and that I'm a genius. I'm not a genius. I'm just a guy. I'm a guy who likes math by some stroke of luck. I'm a guy who understands math by some stroke of luck, but I'm not perfect. I'm not a genius, okay? I'm not the top of my class. But I'm very passionate about the work I do. I feel like I've been sort of on this path of computer engineering for quite some time. I've known I've wanted to do something related with computers back in like high school. But before that, while I don't know the nature of my statements when I was younger, I don't know if it was a legitimate like I know it or if I was just saying stuff. But when I was really young, my uncle worked for IBM, and back then I liked computers too. I liked computers, buttons, anything that I can do stuff with and that does things back. I like it. I loved it back then. And this is like kindergarten I'm talking. So this is like tiny boy. And I would tell people back in kindergarten that that I wanted to work for IBM, and like everybody else was like, "Don't you want to be a firefighter or a race car driver?" And I'm like, "I don't know." I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of funny, cause I mean that's 20 something years later, still doing it. I could very well end up working for IBM one day. I don't know if it's not necessarily a goal for specifically IBM, but I would not turn it down. No shot I would turn it down. So I don't know. But the classes have been tough. They've been tough. It's hard to study. I'm not a good studier. I get distracted. I get lazy, just like everybody else. Not everybody else. Don't be lazy. Stay focused. Stay hard. But it's easier to say that than to do it. Do as I say, not as I do. All right. But yeah, the classes. I enjoy the material in the classes. I do. I enjoy learning about how electricity flows through things, what it can do, what you can do to manipulate it, and all of the math that goes behind it. Everything in a computer is run by math. Not just math, binary math. Everything. The computer speaks in ones and zeros. You hear that a lot and you take it in, but I don't, at least me personally, and this has happened with a lot of things, I hear things and I accept them, but I don't actually think about them. I just take it in and I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, ones and zeros, computer shit. But you don't necessarily realize like how much math goes into a computer just to make it turn on, just to make it add something, just to make it multiply. Or no, not, well, actually, okay. Multiplying isn't super difficult. You have bit shifting. Like multiplying by 2. But like there are a lot of things that computers cannot do. They can do them, but they can't do them without some sort of like a translation from, like if we have the cubed root of 18. Whatever that may be. Cube root is 27 because I know that off the top of my head. We wanted to get 3 from that. Now how are we going to get 3 from 27 using ones and zeros? Well, the computer doesn't know. We gotta tell it. There have been people who have already done this, who have already figured out what steps need to be taken to convert the decimal system of numbers with the cubed root into basic addition and subtraction with binary numbers and bit shifting and things of that nature. Very low level math. We're standing on the shoulders of giants, and it's extremely evident. And that's amazing. How much has happened regarding computers and the precision of the control of electricity. It's amazing. It's amazing. We've done so much, and the reason why we're able to do so much more as time progresses is because of what we're making with these computers. They can do so much. They've changed the world, and they won't stop. While this is an amazing thing, computers are also bad. Computers are also very bad, and I see both sides of this coin. And I've not always seen it, but as you grow and you learn and you see things, you learn. Computers are great, but these things, smartphones, they're computers too, and they're not so great. I personally have been kind of just brainstorming an idea of how to just get rid of my phone. I need things. I need Spotify. I don't know if I need a web browser on my phone. I'm constantly looking up random stuff, so I guess it would be nice, but it's not necessary. I need to call. I need to text. And there are just a bunch of other small things that I feel like I would need, but what I need is to get rid of this. It's addicting. It's really addicting. And you don't see the addiction. It's an addiction that people don't talk about. Like you talk about the addiction of alcohol, cigarettes, yes, of course, weed, yeah, sure. Crack, yeah, of course, crack, yeah, it's addictive. But nobody looks at somebody who's on their phone 8 hours a day, not 8 hours a day, like say even 2 hours a day is a lot. Think about that. You're using a 12th of your day to sit and look at your phone when you could be doing anything else for 2 hours. Anything else. You're choosing to sit there, whether it be in your bed, in your car, in your chair, at work, whatever. It's really easy to get distracted. You gotta delete the social media. You gotta delete just anything that promotes the sexualization of the brain. You need to fix your brain. Technology is ruining our brains. It really is. We're not able to critically think about things. There are people who, and I'm guilty of it too. We're all guilty of it. Every single person who's watching this and not watching this is guilty of this. They take what somebody else says, or say of a group of people. Say if imagine I'm just hanging out, just sitting somewhere studying, and like 10 people come up to me and tell me, oh my gosh, this person just died. Well, yeah, okay, I'll believe that. That's horrible. But like, if you take that and you use that same logic with, for example, because dying is a big thing, lying about, that. But if you took that same logic, and also like them saying that somebody died, okay, hold on. 5 people, 10 people come up and say somebody died. Spoiler alert, this hypothetical person didn't die. But they said that, and it was a lie, and I don't find out, and I'll never find out unless I go look. But that's the case. That's the thing. A lot of people will hear something on the internet, word of mouth, whatever, usually within their own little circle of like echo chamber stuff. So it's just, just charged with whatever they already believe, so that's easier to believe. But they won't do their own research on things. They won't go out and look. They won't even think for themselves on, okay, well, if this person did this thing, is this a bad thing that this person did? Does this person is this criticism towards this person justified, or is it somebody overreacting? And a lot of people won't do that. And once people start to do that, their world starts to crumble. They start realizing, okay, well, this wasn't true. And I was told this by a lot of people, tons of people, hundreds. Everybody's talking about this on the internet. It must be true. No. You gotta do your own research, and you can't just look on CNN. You can't just look on Fox News. can't look on like bipartisan sources. You gotta find the source. You gotta find actual evidence of something. If that makes sense. You can't just base your beliefs off of, oh, this person said this thing on a tweet or something. That means that they're an asshole. No. And I've always felt this way. I've always felt people should think for themselves, critically think. But I saw a video of, I believe he was a professor. I don't know if it was at a college or a high school or whatever it was. I think he was a professor at, like a videography professor or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But that's not the important part here. It was he and a student were having a discussion. The student asked, how do you feel about so-and-so because they're because of the fact, he said this, because of the fact that they're transphobic. And this teacher didn't say anything regarding, like, answering that. First, what he said was, okay, how is this person transphobic? And that's a legitimate question when you bring up such a strong, like, the fact that they're, like, you have to, because the person in question wasn't a well-known, they're not well-known to be a homophobe. They're not well-known to be a troublesome person. And so when you say something like that, I feel like the mic's really close. When you say something like that to start your discussion, well, that's huge. You just skipped over a huge piece of the question. Well, because if you're going to ask a question with a supporting thing, you got to support your support. That needs to be, And so what he did was the kid went and found so-and-so's tweets, the ones that were supposedly homophobic, and they read them to the teacher, and the teacher simply said, well, how do you feel about it? And the student at first was like, well, I don't really have an opinion. The other people were saying this is transphobic. And the professor said, no, how do you feel about this? Do you think this is transphobic? And that's important. That's an important question to ask, because if I'm talking to somebody, I don't want to know what Twitter thinks. I don't like Twitter. I don't like social media. I don't like the internet and their opinions. Most of the time. I don't like drama. Okay? And I don't like the news. I don't watch the news. I don't care. Simply put, I don't care. It feels like the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years, realistically, my entire experience with the political system, since being old enough to vote and actually starting to pay attention to it since I was 18, so last 5 years, since I've been paying attention to it, the political atmosphere in America it just doesn't, if nobody wants to talk anymore, there are people that will talk, there are people that will have a respectful debate, and that's what I watch. That's wise people who want to see and hear the other side of the argument, but also stand their ground. But also listen. You have to listen if you want to be in a debate. Because if the entire time that somebody's refuting your rebuttal and you're sitting there thinking the entire time of what you're going to say next, you're not thinking of what they're saying. You're not listening. Maybe they could be right. And that's something we all need to work on. That's something I need to work on. I'm trying, hopefully I can come back in a few years, or however long, in a few months, hopefully even, that'd be better, a few weeks, days, and I want to success, I want to be able to say, yeah, I'm somebody who is able to critically think, and who's able to sit down and have a calm, respectful discussion about anything, because there really aren't any, I guess you could say arguments, but not in the sake of yelling, but debates. There aren't really many debates or arguments that need to be had with an assertive and aggressive, not an assertive is fine, but an aggressive tone. You don't want to attack the other person. You don't want to attack their ideologies. The idea of a debate is simply to find a middle ground, or if you truly are right, if you really truly are right, and you not that you feel it in your heart that you're right, if you know for a fact, you've checked everything, you have supporting sources, your logic is sound, sure, try and convince them. But, I mean, at the end of the day, how many people are you going to have a debate with that are going to change their minds? I don't know. You don't really know. And that could be that could be my own fault. That could be the way that I debate, the way that I argue. Maybe maybe my methods are flawed. I get heated sometimes too. It's, I get anxious. It's anxiety causes volume to rise. It's something that my entire home struggles with. We're just loud people, anxious people, and that's okay, but it's not ideal. It's not a way I want to live. So this is a 15-minute video. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. But yeah, this is life update number 1, introduction to Gage. And before you go, because I've been wearing this hat the entire time. This I don't even know how to explain this or introduce this, but see ya!